Over 50? 5. Essential exercises to quickly build stronger glutes. Could it be that one of the safest pieces of advice you've been given after reaching the age of 50 might actually be contributing to your body becoming weaker over time? Many individuals in their 50s and beyond diligently follow what they believe is the correct path for maintaining health. They engage in regular walking, consciously steer clear of heavy or potentially risky exercises, and exercise extreme caution with their joints. On the surface, this approach appears entirely responsible, even commendable. It aligns with common wisdom about protecting an aging body. However, there's a crucial aspect that often goes unmentioned, a silent truth that can profoundly impact your well-being. You won't want to miss the final habit, or 99% will miss the last tip and will stuck with that for life. Research published in reputable journals, like the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, reveals a compelling statistic. Nearly 68% of chronic lower back pain cases in adults over 50 are directly connected to glute muscles that have become weak or inactive. This isn't primarily about the natural process of aging itself, nor is it merely due to general wear and tear on the body. Instead, it points to muscles that have gradually been neglected and forgotten, slowly losing their essential function. The implications extend far beyond just back pain, affecting overall stability and health. Consider another critical finding, this time from reports by organizations like the American Council on Exercise. Falls are identified as the leading cause of injury-related hospitalizations for adults over the age of 65. What's more, one of the most powerful predictors of these dangerous falls is not slow reflexes or deteriorating eyesight, as many might assume, but rather insufficient strength in the hip and glute muscles. This is a profound insight to truly absorb. You could meticulously practice caution every single day, yet still inadvertently be conditioning your body to fail you precisely when its strength and stability are needed most. This subtle decline can have significant life-altering consequences. It is important to be absolutely clear. This discussion is not intended to cast blame on anyone. It's not about criticizing medical professionals, physical therapists, or the well-intentioned advice they offer. Activities like walking, stretching, and being generally cautious are undeniably beneficial and good for you. The question to ponder, however, is whether these activities serve purely as maintenance rather than providing robust protection against the specific declines associated with aging. What if the very routines established to keep you safe are, without your knowledge, allowing your strongest and most crucial muscles, your glutes, to progressively shut down year after year? Here's another compelling fact that many individuals never encounter. A comprehensive long-term study conducted by a leading university discovered that adults who possess stronger glute muscles maintained a resting metabolic rate approximately 12% higher than those with weaker glutes, even well past the age of 50. This translates into numerous health advantages: improved blood sugar regulation, increased overall energy levels, and more effective weight management, all achievable without resorting to extreme or exhausting workouts. Yet despite these profound benefits, targeted glute training is often bypassed, largely because it is frequently misunderstood. Some mistakenly believe that glute training is purely for cosmetic purposes, focusing solely on appearance. Others perceive it as being inherently dangerous, fearing injury, or too strenuous for their age. Still, others believe it's simply too late to make a difference, that muscle strength has an expiration date. This could not be further from the truth. The remarkable truth is that strength does not have an expiration date. If you are taking the time to engage with this information, it signifies your deep commitment to preserving your independence, to rising effortlessly from a chair without discomfort, to walking with assured confidence, and to living your life fully without constantly assessing potential risks. This information has been specifically curated for you, not to instill fear, nor to push you beyond your safe physical limitations. Rather, its purpose is to illuminate, through credible scientific findings, straightforward movements, and a profound respect for your body, that building and rebuilding strength after the age of 50 is not merely possible, but absolutely essential for a vibrant and active future. In the upcoming moments, a selection of 5 carefully chosen exercises will be shared, each specifically designed for the needs of the over 50 body. These are movements trusted and recommended by physical therapists, movement scientists, and senior wellness experts alike. If this message resonates deeply with you, if you truly believe that aging should be accompanied by a deepening of wisdom, not a decline into weakness, then please take a moment to express your support by liking this video and consider sharing it with someone you genuinely care about. Because cultivating strength at this significant stage of life isn't primarily about appearing younger. It's profoundly about ensuring you remain authentically yourself, preserving your vitality, and sustaining your ability to engage with the world on your own terms for many years to come. For many decades, individuals over 50 have consistently received the same fundamental advice: simply keep walking. This has been widely touted as the safest and most effective exercise one can undertake. And indeed, from a superficial perspective, this advice appears entirely logical. Walking is a low-impact activity. It's completely free, and it certainly gets your body into motion. However, there's a crucial aspect of this truth that seldom gets discussed openly or widely understood. While walking alone is undoubtedly safe, it is simply not sufficient to counteract the natural processes of muscle decline. A noteworthy study conducted in 2019 by a prominent university revealed a startling fact. Walking alone activates only approximately 32% of the gluteus maximus, which is not just any muscle, but the largest and most powerful muscle in your entire body. Allow that particular number to truly sink in for a moment. This means that nearly 2/3 of your potential glute strength remains completely unutilized, lying dormant. To compound this issue, as we naturally progress through the aging process, we typically lose between 1 to 2% of our total muscle mass each year, a fact substantiated by institutions like the National Institutes of Health. If our primary or sole form of exercise is walking, we may be maintaining some basic motion, but we are critically failing to resist this slow, often silent, and ultimately debilitating decline in fundamental strength. Here lies the hidden, insidious risk. Weak glutes lead directly to inadequate hip support. Poor hip support, in turn, translates into increased, unnecessary pressure on both your knees and your lower back. This relentless pressure often manifests as chronic pain, a pervasive sense of instability, and most critically, a significantly elevated risk of falling. Often, by the time persistent pain finally surfaces, the underlying damage and weakness may already be substantially established, making intervention more challenging. However, there's an empowering and transformative shift in perspective possible here. What if walking were merely considered your foundational activity, perhaps serving as your warm-up, rather than representing the complete picture of your physical well-being? What if the simple act of incorporating just a few carefully targeted strength exercises could profoundly reverse the very patterns of weakness that walking alone is incapable of addressing? What you are about to discover are 5 absolutely essential glute-focused movements, each meticulously chosen and specifically adapted for adults over the age of 50. Every single one of these exercises is deeply rooted in principles of physical therapy, backed by scientific understanding, designed with joint-safe mechanics, and directly applicable to real-life functional movements. Therefore, instead of simply continuing to do more of what might feel safe, what if you adopted an approach that is demonstrably smarter and more effective? Let's delve into the top 5 exercises specifically designed to rebuild glute strength safely, progressively, and effectively, starting from the very foundation. We will begin with number 5 and steadily work our way towards what is often the most overlooked yet incredibly powerful exercise of them all. Number 5. Step-ups. This exercise represents a real-life strength test that many people don't even realize they desperately need. Is stepping up merely an advanced form of walking involving just a slightly higher lift? This is a common misconception, and on the surface, it sounds utterly harmless. Yet, this single, unassuming movement has the capacity to reveal more about your fundamental glute strength, your critical joint stability, and your overall fall risk than almost any other exercise you could perform. Consider its practical applications in your daily life. The act of climbing a flight of stairs, stepping confidently onto an elevated curb, or even gracefully entering and exiting a vehicle like a truck are not typically considered gym workouts. These are, in fact, daily, spontaneous tests of your body's intrinsic ability to effectively lift its own weight, one leg at a time, against gravity. And yet, the vast majority of traditional walking routines, while beneficial in their own right, never adequately challenge this specific and vital movement pattern. Step-ups are remarkably effective because they engage not only the gluteus maximus, but also the crucial gluteus medius, alongside the essential stabilizer muscles of your core and hips. This engagement is particularly pronounced and beneficial when you execute the movement one leg at a time. This unilateral focus is absolutely critical for developing robust balance, ensuring optimal joint protection, and building the specific strength required for effortlessly climbing stairs. However, the absolute key to performing step-ups correctly lies in ensuring that the primary effort and power originate from the lead leg rather than relying on momentum or illicitly pushing off from the back foot. When performed with the correct form and intention, step-ups actively reactivate dormant glute muscles, leading to significant improvements not just in raw muscle mass, but crucially, in neuromuscular control. This refers to your brain's sophisticated ability to precisely locate and effectively activate the correct muscles in the correct sequence at the opportune moment. A study conducted in 2021 at a respected university found that after a mere 6 weeks of consistent step-up training, adults over the age of 60 experienced a remarkable 27% improvement in their single-leg strength and an impressive 33% enhancement in stair stability, all achieved without the need for heavy weights. Conversely, the act of avoiding step-up type movements, simply because they feel challenging or introduce a sense of instability, might initially seem like a safe choice. However, over time, this avoidance invariably leads to pronounced muscle imbalances, a reduction in proprioception, your body's awareness of its position in space, and an increasing dependence on external aids like handrails or eventually caregivers for what should be fundamental tasks like navigating stairs. For adults over 50 seeking a safer yet highly effective upgrade to their routine, consider these modifications. Utilize a low platform, ideally between 6 to 12 inches in height. Ensure your entire foot is firmly placed on the step. Feel free to use a sturdy chair or a wall for additional balance and support. Consciously focus on pressing powerfully through the heel of your lead foot and actively squeezing the glute at the very apex of the movement. Even just 2 or 3 sets of 8 repetitions per side, performed twice a week, can initiate a profound rebuilding of your lost strength. What may feel challenging and arduous today will undoubtedly translate into greater freedom and capability tomorrow. Are you ready to move on to number 4? This next exercise might appear deceptively simple at first glance, but it quietly yet powerfully targets one of the most vitally important stabilizing muscles throughout your entire body, playing a crucial role in maintaining your upright posture and overall stability. Number 4. Glute kickbacks. This is a seemingly small movement that nevertheless holds the key to helping you stand taller and more confidently. You might dismiss it as just a little leg lift, questioning how truly effective such a modest action could possibly be. Indeed, it looks remarkably simple, perhaps even too simple, which unfortunately leads many individuals over the age of 50 to either completely bypass it or perform it without any real intention or focus. However, do not be deceived by its understated appearance. This quiet, controlled motion is designed to meticulously train one of the most critical muscle functions you need to preserve and enhance after 50. The invaluable ability to effectively extend your hip without relying on or straining your lower back. This is a subtle yet profound skill that countless people gradually lose over time, often without ever consciously realizing it. The gluteus maximus is your primary hip extensor. It is the absolute powerhouse muscle that provides the driving force for fundamental movements such as walking, effortlessly rising from a seated position, and conquering stairs. But when this crucial muscle weakens, a process that often occurs silently and incrementally over the years, other muscles, notably your lower back or your hamstrings, begin to compensate and take over its responsibilities. This leads to detrimental compensation patterns, an increase in undesirable pressure on your spine, and ultimately the onset of persistent pain. Glute kickbacks, when executed with precise form and deliberate intention, effectively retrain your brain to activate the correct muscle, thereby restoring essential strength and stability directly at the source of the problem. A significant study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy demonstrated that targeted glute activation exercises, specifically including kickbacks, led to remarkable improvements in gait confidence, balance, and hip control among older adults in as little as 4 weeks. That's an astonishingly short time frame. Just 4 weeks of focused training brought about tangible real-world changes in how individuals walked and how securely they stood. When the glutes are weak, every single step you take inadvertently places a subtle but continuous strain on your lower back. Over an extended period, this creates a predictable pattern of pelvic drop, often causes inexplicable knee pain, and contributes to poor posture. Symptoms frequently and incorrectly attributed solely to aging. It is not necessarily age. It is often the direct consequence of neglect. For adults over 50 seeking a safer and more effective solution, here's how to perform glute kickbacks correctly. Begin by standing tall behind a sturdy chair. Lightly hold on to the back of the chair for necessary balance. Then, lift one leg straight back behind you, making sure to keep your spine neutral and avoid any arching in your lower back. Hold the leg at the top of the movement for 1 to 2 seconds, actively squeezing the glute muscle. Slowly and with control, return your leg to the starting position. Repeat this for 10-12 repetitions per leg for 2 to 3 sets. Even without adding any external weight, you will distinctly feel a focused burn in precisely the right area, your glutes, not your back. You are not simply lifting a leg, you are strategically lifting your strength back to where it rightfully belongs. Up next, at number 3, we have what is arguably the single most underrated exercise in the realm of senior fitness. The truly remarkable aspect. You can perform this incredibly potent movement while comfortably lying down. Number 3. Glute bridge. This is undeniably the most powerful exercise you can perform while lying down. Lying flat on the floor might not immediately conjure images of intense exercise or significant strength building. We are often conditioned to believe that genuine strength acquisition necessitates complex machines, heavy weights, or visible beads of sweat. But what if one of the most profoundly effective exercises for fortifying your spine, stabilizing your hips, and enhancing your overall balance could be achieved through the simple act of lying down? This introduces us to the glute bridge, a movement that, while appearing gentle, speaks directly and powerfully to the very muscles responsible for holding your body upright and enabling effortless movement. When executed with meticulous precision, the glute bridge expertly isolates and powerfully activates the gluteus maximus, achieving this with minimal, almost negligible assistance from the hamstrings or the lower back. It provides an exceptionally safe and controlled environment in which to systematically build crucial posterior chain strength, the collective group of muscles that are fundamentally responsible for performing everyday actions like standing, walking, and even lifting objects without experiencing discomfort or pain. Even more significantly, it ingeniously reprograms your nervous system to prioritize the firing of your glutes first, rather than inadvertently relying on your lower back to initiate movements. This sophisticated brain-to-muscle connection is absolutely critical, especially as we advance in years, a period when neuromuscular control naturally tends to experience a decline. In an impactful 8-week clinical trial, whose findings were published in the esteemed Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, participants over the age of 55 who consistently performed glute bridges alongside complementary core stabilizing exercises achieved remarkable results. They reported a significant reduction of chronic lower back pain by an impressive 42% and observed an improvement in their mobility scores by over 35%. This profound transformation was achieved not through surgical intervention, nor through pharmaceutical medications, but purely through the power of targeted, intentional movement. A common oversight occurs when many individuals unknowingly arch their backs during this exercise. This incorrect form unfortunately shifts unwanted pressure directly onto the spine, completely bypassing the intended glute muscles. Not only does this render the exercise considerably less effective, but it can, paradoxically, exacerbate existing pain or even induce new discomfort. For adults over 50 seeking a safer and optimally effective solution, here's the correct approach. Lie comfortably on a mat or a firm bed. Bend your knees, ensuring your feet are flat on the surface and positioned hip-width apart. Keep your arms relaxed and resting at your sides. As you initiate the lift of your hips, consciously imagine that you are pulling the movement primarily from your glutes, not from your lower back. Lift only until your hips achieve a straight line alignment with your shoulders and knees. Crucially, avoid any excessive overarching of your back. Pause and actively squeeze your glutes at the very peak of the movement for 2 to 3 seconds. Then, slowly and with controlled, deliberate motion, lower your hips back down. Repeat this for 12 to 15 repetitions, completing 2 to 3 sets. As an optional tip to assist with form and alignment, you might consider placing a small pillow between your knees. Sometimes, the most profoundly powerful action you can undertake is simply to reconnect with muscles your body has gradually, over time, forgotten how to use effectively. Get ready, because number 2 is a truly remarkable movement you can perform while simply sitting down, yet it rigorously trains the very muscles you rely upon with every single step you take. Number 2, seated band abduction. This exercise focuses on an often invisible muscle group that plays a crucial role in protecting every step you take. You might wonder, how much real benefit can possibly be derived from simply sitting in a chair and gently pushing your knees apart? On the surface, it doesn't appear to be much. You are merely seated, a resistance band lightly encircling your legs, with seemingly minimal movement. However, do not allow this apparent simplicity to mislead you. This subtle, controlled movement directly targets the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus, two immensely important muscles that, regrettably, seldom receive proper attention until their weakness manifests as significant problems. These are collectively known as your side glutes. They are the essential muscles responsible for dynamically stabilizing your pelvis every single time you stand, walk, or shift your body weight onto one leg. When these crucial muscles become weak, a common occurrence after the age of 50, your hips can develop an undesirable wobble with each step. This instability doesn't just look awkward. It actively creates tangible structural problems throughout your kinetic chain. The gluteus medius functions much like a vital side anchor, tirelessly working to keep your pelvis level, ensure your knees track in a straight and healthy alignment, and maintain the proper alignment of your spine. Without its robust support, your entire body can begin to collapse inward, leading to the development of chronic hip pain, undue strain on your knees, and a dramatically increased risk of falling. A significant study published in the Aging and Balance journals unequivocally demonstrated that hip abduction strength emerged as the #1 predictor of an individual's ability to recover from a fall in adults over the age of 65. In simpler terms, if you possess the controlled strength to push your knees outward against resistance, you are considerably more likely to effectively catch yourself during an unexpected trip or slip, thereby potentially avoiding serious and debilitating injury. You might believe you are walking perfectly fine, but your body could be subtly compensating for underlying weakness until the day those compensations are no longer enough. That's when the metaphorical dominoes begin to fall. Persistent knee pain that defies resolution, one leg feeling noticeably weaker than the other, and a noticeable shift in your gait, leading to imbalance and overwhelming fatigue. For adults over 50 seeking a safe and profoundly effective solution, here's the precise method for seated band abduction. Sit firmly on a sturdy chair. Place a light resistance band just above your knees, encircling your legs. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor and your knees are positioned hip-width apart. Gently but deliberately press your knees outward, engaging your side glutes. Hold this outward position for 1 to 2 seconds at the widest point of the movement. Slowly and with controlled resistance, return your knees to the starting position. Repeat this for 12 to 15 repetitions, completing 2 to 3 sets. A key tip: resist the urge to rush the movement. The slower and more controlled your motion, the deeper and more effectively these vital muscles will be engaged and strengthened. You don't necessarily need to move more, you simply need to activate your muscles smarter. Coming up next, at #1, we present an exercise that most people mistakenly perceive as being far too advanced or complicated. However, when executed correctly and with appropriate scaling, it might just be the single most potent strength builder available for older adults, transforming their mobility and resilience. #1. Bulgarian split squat. This is arguably the most underrated glute movement specifically for adults over 50. Is this not exclusively an advanced gym exercise typically reserved for elite athletes? This is a very common perception. It certainly looks challenging, the name itself can sound intimidating, and it is, regrettably, very rarely suggested to older adults. This is a considerable missed opportunity because when properly scaled and adapted, the Bulgarian split squat could potentially be the single most powerful and functionally beneficial movement you can incorporate for enhancing the strength of your glutes, hips, and knees, particularly after reaching the age of 50. This exceptional exercise rigorously compels your gluteus maximus and gluteus medius to fire powerfully and under precise control, while concurrently presenting a significant challenge to your balance, your intrinsic core stability, and your proprioception, which is your body's sophisticated ability to accurately sense its position and movement within space. This potent combination of benefits is an absolute goldmine for cultivating genuine, real-world strength that translates directly into daily activities. It ingeniously mimics the natural, unilateral way we move through life, shifting weight onto one leg, stabilizing ourselves dynamically from the hip, precisely what you do countless times when walking, turning, reaching, or crucially, preventing a potential fall. Furthermore, it effectively stretches your hip flexors, a muscle group that tends to become increasingly tight with age and prolonged sitting, thereby restoring essential range of motion and alleviating stiffness. Specialists in physical therapy who focus on older adult rehabilitation often highlight the Bulgarian split squat as one of the most profoundly effective movements for achieving glute reactivation and correcting gait imbalances. In clinical settings, it is utilized to restore critical symmetry and stability in individuals recovering from various hip and pelvic dysfunctions. The reason for its inclusion is clear. It works. Avoiding this powerful movement simply because it appears difficult often means you are inadvertently failing to train your body to adeptly handle real-world imbalances and unpredictable situations. This avoidance can lead to a host of issues: an uneven gait, an unhealthy overload on one side of your joints, a significantly increased risk of falling, and an accelerated loss of strength in the weaker leg. For adults over 50 seeking a safe and highly effective solution, here's how to perform the Bulgarian split squat correctly. Begin by standing approximately 2 feet in front of a low bench or a sturdy chair. Place one foot behind you, gently resting the top of that foot on the chair or bench. For additional stability, feel free to use another chair or a wall for balance support. Slowly and with control, bend your front knee, lowering your body until your front thigh is roughly parallel to the floor or within a comfortable and pain-free range of motion. Throughout the movement, keep your chest lifted and actively ensure that your front knee does not collapse inward. To return to the starting position, press powerfully through your front heel. Start with a modest 6 to 8 repetitions per leg, completing 2 to 3 sets using only your body weight. A crucial tip for beginners: shorten your range of motion and utilize a sturdy support if you are new to this exercise. Depth is considerably less important than maintaining impeccable control. You do not have to move quickly, you simply have to move with deliberate intention. This is not about relentlessly pushing physical limits, but rather about systematically reclaiming your inherent strength, one leg, one step, and one conscious decision at a time. So let's take a moment to pause and reflect on what you have just learned. The movements presented were not fleeting fitness trends or complex routines designed for extreme athletes. Instead, they are fundamental foundation builders, exercises specifically engineered not merely to enhance your physical strength, but to empower you to move with greater efficiency, stand with more confidence, and live your life with a profound sense of ease, entirely irrespective of your chronological age. You are not required to pursue an elusive ideal of physical perfection. You are not obligated to lift excessively heavy weights or adhere to convoluted, complicated workout regimens. And perhaps most importantly, you absolutely do not need to keep pace with or compare yourself to anyone else's fitness journey. What you genuinely need is to initiate your journey by focusing on what your unique body truly requires. Because after the age of 50, the fundamental rules of physical health often shift. Your body begins to communicate its needs in subtly different ways. And now, More than perhaps ever before, it profoundly rewards consistent effort over sporadic intensity and meticulous precision in movement over brute force or excessive pressure. You have dedicated countless decades to showing up for others, for your cherished family, your wider community, your demanding work. But your own health, that singular investment, is the one that offers the most substantial returns, more precious time, amplified energy, and an unparalleled sense of freedom. Not at some indeterminate point in the future, not with the lament of, if only I had started earlier. No, the benefits are available to you right now, and it is absolutely, unequivocally, not too late to begin. Scientific research consistently demonstrates that even in your 50s, 60s, and 70s, you possess the incredible capacity to rebuild lost muscle mass, effectively restore optimal movement patterns, and actively prevent pain, often achieving these results far more rapidly than you might initially anticipate. This transformation comes not from an exhaustive pursuit of doing more, but from the intelligent discernment of doing what truly matters. Glute strength transcends mere posture or athletic performance. It is intrinsically linked to your independence, to your unwavering confidence, and to the profound affirmation of saying, I trust my body again. Therefore, whether you decide to incorporate all 5 of these exercises into your routine today, or simply begin with just one, understand that every single repetition is a powerful message you are sending to your future self. I've got your back. Quite literally, there is no need to rush this process. All that is required is the steadfast commitment to keep going, to persist with intention and consistency. If this information has provided you with valuable new insights, please consider expressing your appreciation by hitting the like button. Do this not just for the creator of this content, but so that platforms like YouTube recognize the immense importance of this message and share it with more people. Share your thoughts in the comments below, perhaps detailing which exercise surprised you the most, or recounting your personal journey, because someone else reading your story might just discover their own profound reason to embark on this path. And if you are eager for more movement, more strength, and more empowerment, then consider subscribing to this channel, because we are truly just getting started on this transformative journey. Your next vibrant chapter doesn't necessarily begin with a doctor's visit. It truly begins the moment you make the conscious decision to move and firmly believe in the incredible potential of what your body can still become.